Have you ever been into somebody so bad that things are going really good, it's getting real, and then all of a sudden you decide you want to disappear out of nowhere? You stop texting them back, you hit that unmatch button, or suddenly your schedule becomes way too packed to meet up. If this sounds like you, if you are nodding or even cringing just a little bit, you're not the only one.
Welcome back to Read It Right. We are Helen and Fab, and we help you navigate modern dating with practical tips and a little bit of tough love.
If you've ever had those moments where you wonder, why do I keep running away when I don't mean to? Stick around. Because in the next few minutes, we're going to get into the raw, the messy truth behind your urge to ghost at any sign of real intimacy. So let's get into it. You know how you say you want a real relationship? You want emotional closeness? You want someone to binge Netflix with on a Sunday afternoon? But then a part of you is screaming, nah, I can't. I'm gonna lose all my freedom. You're used to going out with your friends, partying without having to check in with anyone, flirting with randoms, traveling on a whim, and just basically living your best single life. You love the idea of a relationship, but the reality of sharing your space, time, and energy can feel suffocating. And then there's the very real lifestyle comfort that you have become accustomed to because you've been single for so long and doing things your way without having to consult or compromise with anyone. You have your own place, and the thought of sharing your bed and your pillows and your blankets and your Netflix queue freaks you out. Or for example, all your friends are single and you really don't want to be that friend who's suddenly coupled up and skipping out on late night hangouts. So the moment someone you've been dating hints at a weekend trip or invites you to meet their friends, or pretty much does anything that hints at a real step towards commitment, you freak out. That panic can lead you to ghost them before you even realize you're doing it. It's a subconscious way of saying, better disappear than risk losing my freedom. But just so you know, you can still be you in a relationship if it's the right one. A healthy relationship doesn't mean zero independence. It means you're choosing to build a life with someone else while still keeping the parts of your life that matter. The trick is balancing both.
And that brings us to the next big reason why you may ghost someone you really like when things start to get serious. It's because you're carrying wound from past relationship. You gave your heart to someone and it ended in betrayal or heartbreak. Or maybe it wasn't one big dramatic thing, but slow fade where you realized the person you were with couldn't or wouldn't love you the way you needed. Now, because of those experiences, you're terrified of getting hurt again. You compare every new person to that ex who hurt you or to that relationship that let you down. When they go out with their friends on the weekend, you think they will cheat on you like your ex did. Your guard is always up. You're too suspicious. You are over-analyzing every single word. Every moment they are offline or away from their phone. You keep looking for a red flag. And you know what? If you look hard enough, you will find something. Under all this, you may not feel worthy of love. And that is a tricky one to admit. But it can manifest as constant doubt about whether someone truly cares. If you don't believe you deserve genuine love, it's almost impossible to truly accept it from someone else. So every time you do meet someone decent, you're quick to push them away or sabotage it. Because deep inside, you think, this won't last, they will hurt me anyway. So you ghost before they do to protect yourself. But ironically, by ghosting, you end up repeating the very cycle of pain you're trying to escape. You reinforce the idea that relationship ends with someone disappearing. If you don't heal from that past, you will find yourself ghosting again and again.
Let's talk communication, more specifically, the lack of it. If you're someone who dreads tough conversations, who cringes at the word conflict, or who would rather bail than say, we need to talk, ghosting can become your default escape hatch. It's easier to vanish than to articulate what's bothering you, right? Imagine you went on a few dates with someone and everything is going good until your date casually makes a comment that bothers you. Instead of saying, hey, that actually really upset me, you keep quiet, hoping they'll somehow realize they made a mistake. You let days pass and you grow more and more irritated because they still haven't fixed the problem, even though they had no idea there was one. Eventually, your annoyance with them builds up into a big blow up in your head. You start feeling overwhelmed, so you decide it's easier to disappear and ghost them instead of expressing how you actually feel. Another example could be that you secretly want a more serious commitment, but you're afraid to say it because you think they might not want the same thing. Rather than asking, "Where do you see this going?" Again, you stay silent because you're scared of getting rejected. You tell yourself that if they really cared about you, they would just know what you want. That mind reading trap is where you assume you know exactly what the other person is thinking, or you expect them to read your mind. They should just know how I feel. But guess what? They don't. And you don't either. You become more resentful with each interaction, which leaves you feeling more uncertain and more anxious. One night, you realize you can't handle the unknown anymore, and instead of talking about it, you impulsively decide to block their number and social media. You ghost them first to avoid getting hurt. And speaking of impulsivity, another example is that you are quick to jump the gun. You might be quick to say, "This is not working," and bounce because of something tiny. Then a day later, you regret it, but you made such a dramatic exit that it feels way too awkward to come back. And so you vanish from that person's life forever, wondering if you did the right thing and if you missed out on a great opportunity. If you're nodding right now, we totally get it. Conflict can be scary, but learning to speak up for yourself, your needs, your fears, your boundaries is the very thing that can prevent this painful ghosting cycle.
And that leads us to reason number 4. You don't really know what you want. Think about it. You are on these dating apps, matching with all kind of people, having a good time. But if I ask you right now, what exactly are you looking for in a relationship? Could you give me a clear answer? You are so focused on not being alone, or you are just used to going on dates because that's what everyone around you is doing, that you never sit down and figure it out what you actually want. Is it a long-term commitment leading to marriage? Is it a partnership that's more open or flexible? Do you want kids or not? Do you want someone who shares your religion or spiritual beliefs? Or do you not care about that? When you're unsure about what you want, any date can look promising at first, until you realize maybe they are not aligned with your deeper values. You don't even get that far because you freak out at the thought of responsibility. You're like, wait, if we get serious, does that mean that I have to plan holidays together, meet their family, maybe move in with them? And if you're not sure that's what you really want, you start to panic. You bounce around so many dates because you secretly hope that the other person will give your life clarity and direction. But that's not their job, and it's not fair to them or to you. So yes, figure it out what you truly want beyond the fear of missing out, beyond social pressure, even beyond your family expectations. Get honest with yourself. That step alone can keep you from chasing the wrong type of connection over and over again. When you are not sure about what you want, that confusion can feel overwhelming. Instead of resolving it, it may feel easier to ghost. It requires self-reflection, maybe some trial and error, and definitely some open conversation. But if you never take the time to clarify your relationship goals, you will keep ghosting the moment things feel too real, simply because you don't know if you even want something real. On that note, if you're realizing you may need a bit more clarity if you are emotionally ready to handle something serious, or if you need more self-work first, we created our relationship readiness quiz to help you see how prepared you are to create a healthy partnership. Once you complete it, you will gain access to specialized tools and resources tailored to your specific result, so you can start making changes and moving toward healthier habits to create a fulfilling relationship. Check out the link in the description below.
You're scared to try something new. It's so much easier to recycle the familiar, even if the familiar wasn't that great to begin with. Just like the ex who keeps popping back up in your messages, that ex who texts you with a "Hey, I miss you and I want you back." So instead of exploring a new connection that might be healthier, you go back to what you know and what seems comfortable. Your comfort zone is a great and cozy place, but nothing ever grows there. You know entertaining your ex is not gonna go anywhere good, but at least you know the outcome. because the unknown can be super scary. So you might ghost the new person to scurry back to the devil you know, simply because stepping into the unknown with someone new feels way too risky. And then there's cynicism. After a few disappointing dating experiences, you develop a protective shield of sarcasm and negativity. It's all the same. People always lie. No one's genuine these days. This is a really hard one because once you're in that mindset where everyone is at fault except you keep looking for signs to validate this narrative. You even subconsciously seek these type of experiences, and therefore every new encounter will be doomed before it even starts. When you start seeing signs that a new situation might be different than what you're used to, you don't really know how to handle it. Because if it's different, that means you'll have to let go of your old narrative, and letting go can be very difficult. So ghosting becomes your armor, your way to avoid vulnerability of exploring something you're not 100% sure about. Newness, while scary, is also where possibility lives. You have to push past that fear of the unknown. If you keep going back to what you know, the ex, the same dating patterns, the same bars, the same everything, you will keep getting the exact same results. And if those results are constantly having to start over and a constant notion of what if, maybe it's time to embrace the unknown. Try something different. Date someone who's not your usual type. Seek new social circles. Step out of your comfort zone, because that is where real growth and real connections begin to flourish.
And this brings us to a fundamental question we all have to face. Are you truly ready for a relationship? It's about being open to vulnerability, open to sharing your life in a deeper way, open to conflict resolution, and to letting someone see the part of you that aren't so great. Being vulnerable can be extremely scary. Opening up about your fears, your insecurities, your deepest desires, these aren't exactly casual conversation starters. It means letting someone see you for who you really are, including your faults, your messy past, your weird little habits. It means taking emotional risk. And if you are not comfortable with vulnerability, you end up dating from a guarded place. What happened then? You may have a bunch of first dates, good banter, some laugh, or even hook up, and then you run right when things start to feel real. In your mind, if you run, you never had to go deep. And if you never had to go deep, you can never get hurt. But you also never get fulfilled. If you keep ghosting when things heat up, it may be a sign that you haven't fully processed past trauma, or that you haven't developed the emotional skills to navigate a deep relationship yet. And that's okay. There is no shame in not being ready. But ghosting people hurts them and often hurts you too, because it reinforces your own fears. This is exactly why we created our relationship readiness quiz. To help you see how prepared you are to handle a healthy partnership. Check out the link in the description below.
So let's recap. Why do you ghost when things heat up? It could be a fear of losing your freedom, still hurting from a past relationship, trouble communicating your thoughts and feelings, uncertainty about what you actually want, the fear of the unknown, or just plain not being emotionally ready to open up. Any one of these can lead you to run for the hills the moment you sense real intimacy approaching. The good news is that self-awareness is power. Once you know what's driving your ghosting habit, you can work on it. And you can do this through self-reflection, therapy, coaching, honest conversations with friends, or even giving yourself some dedicated time off from dating to figure out what you really want.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. If this video helped shed some light on your ghosting pattern, do us a favor, hit that like button. Share this with someone who may need to hear it, and subscribe if you are into honest, no-nonsense conversation about modern dating. Until next time, see you in the next video.